National Enquirer, weekdays at noon, right after Channel 2 News on K2.
From ABC News, around the world and into your home, the stories that touch your life. This is 2020 Wednesday with Diane Sawyer and Charles Gibson.
Tonight, this could be it. Hell on earth. Solitary confinement. Home to the most dangerous inmates. Irrational criminals like this man.
Here's a man that, scares people in a maximum security prison.
Locked up, isolated 23 hours a day. A cage their only playground. Imagine what can happen when they're back on the streets.
I'm so furious in my head, I just, I lose all control.
Chief Correspondent Chris Wallace with a chilling view of a place few people ever see. Solitary confinement. Prison within a prison. And she's been called the mother of all shoplifters, stealing $250,000 in goods piece by piece.
There was 248 pairs of shoes, 5 bridesmaids' dresses, and 1 big kitchen sink.
She eluded security cameras and sales clerks, used her own daughters as decoys, and no one was the wiser.
Was there any store you couldn't shoplift from? No.
An irresistible urge to steal. She turned her home into a warehouse, putting everything she held dear at risk. Is she mentally ill or just a common thief? Sylvia Chase with the queen of shoplifting. Plus, does this sound familiar?
Sorry! Don't let her shoes inside or we're not going on a picnic!
Parents getting angry at their children, yelling, screaming, shaking them. Where does this rage come from? And what does it do to our children?
Anger often conveys a basic message that there's something wrong with you. You're bad, you're unworthy.
Families let 2020 put cameras in their homes so you can see what it looks like when you lose control in yours. How can you bring peace to your household? Bill Ritter with priceless advice for parents everywhere. Angry Love.
Those stories tonight, December 29th, 1999.
Pentium 3 processor owners, we designed a website just for you. Intel's Web Outfitter service. Everything you need for a great internet experience. Rock with your favorite bands for live concert webcasts. Share family adventures. Explore the tallest mountains in the world. Live your life on the web to the fullest. Intel's Web Outfitter service. Get it now. Free at Intel.com.
Getting those urban cowboys on horses was trying enough. And you throw in some serious chili, we're talking major heartburn. Well, we were way out there, and this cowboy, he pulls this Zantac 75 out of his saddlebag. I said, what are you, a Zantac salesman? He said, no, I'm a doctor.
The medicine in Zantac 75 is the #1 doctor-prescribed acid reducer. It relieves even your toughest heartburn, controlling acid for up to 12 hours.
Hats off to you, Doc.
Zantac 75 for tough heartburn. Doctors know.
Burlington Coat Factory's after Christmas sale is on now. Drastic reductions on tremendous selections of ladies' sportswear and dresses, famous name menswear, outerwear, kids' clothes, plus thousands of ladies' coats and jackets slashed an additional 40 to 50% off our original low prices. The quality and designer labels Burlington Coat Factory is famous for are now priced significantly lower. Burlington Coat Factory's after Christmas sale, open New Year's Day.
From Times Square in New York, Diane Sawyer and Charles Gibson.
Good evening and welcome to 2020 Wednesday. Charles Gibson is in London on his assignment for the Millennium tonight. Now we're going to take you into a world that everyone has heard about but few ever see. It's been called hell on earth, though prison officials call it solitary confinement. It is the ultimate prison punishment. What does such isolation do to a man? Is it too cruel a place for any human being? Chief Correspondent Chris Wallace takes another look at a story we first broadcast in April. Solitary confinement through the eyes of a murderer who calls it home.
He looks like just another inmate, but Charlie Chase is different. He's been locked away, isolated in a special unit of the Massachusetts prison system for almost 6 years.
I don't like authority figures. Bottom line, I don't.
And when somebody tells you what to do, what's your reaction?
It burns me, makes me feel small. I don't care, I just lose sight of everything and my mind just snaps.
Charlie is serving a life sentence for second-degree murder, but his violence didn't stop there. In prison, he stabbed another inmate and was sent to solitary confinement. The Massachusetts Department of Correction considers the 31-year-old Chase one of its most dangerous inmates.
Here's a man that, scares people in a maximum security prison. Just think about that. Here's a guy that other maximum security inmates probably don't want to live next to.
Commissioner Michael Maloney, who runs the state's prison system, believes in making hardened criminals serve the hardest possible time.
Is Charlie Chase the kind of inmate for whom the DDU was set up?
He's exactly the kind of inmate that the DDU was set up to address.
The DDU is the 124-cell departmental disciplinary unit at the maximum security prison in Walpole, Massachusetts. Simply put, it's the prison within the prison. Charlie has committed so many offenses there that if he becomes a model prisoner today, he still won't get out of the DDU until December of 2008. That's 15 years in solitary confinement.
The inmates that are sent to the DDU, they are the worst of the worst in our system.
Even in that crowd, Charlie stands out. DDU prisoners are locked in their cells 23 hours a day, allowed just 1 hour to exercise alone in one of these cages. In 1994, Charlie became so enraged with another inmate, he broke out of his cage, climbed up on top, and tried to get at the other man carrying a homemade knife.
Just gets to a point where you have to do something, Man can only take so much.
It took 10 prison guards to subdue him. And not without a fight. Charlie ended up with a large gash on his forehead.
Charlie is Charlie. He's well known throughout the whole institution.
Correction officer Chris Azevedo worked as a guard in the DDU for more than 2 years.
I didn't want to see Charlie at his best.
When you say at his best, you mean in the full Charlie Chase rage, self-destructive violence?
Yes, definitely. No one really likes dealing with him.
They say that you throw feces and urine at the guards.
Yes, I have.
And what do you think that accomplishes?
Absolutely nothing. I just don't think about it. I'm so furious in my head, I lose all control.
But it gets worse. One of the last times Azevedo dealt with Charlie was 4 years ago, when the guard was sliding some food through the cell door.
I handed the food tray to him, and he pulled my arm down.
I just yanked him in and cut him.
Cut him with what?
They say a razor blade.
He just looked at me with sick eyes. He was just staring at me. Then I pulled my hand out. As I looked at my hand, I had seen it start to bleed.
When he can't get at a guard or inmate, Charlie takes it out on himself, bashing his head against the cell wall, carving a satanic symbol into his chest, or once slicing himself with a nail clipper.
What'd you do?
I stuck it in my arm, one of the veins, and snipped it. A lot of blood came out.
If you could have gotten at that guard at that moment, what would you have done?
Probably would have buried it in his eye.
By this point, you may be thinking, lock Charlie up and throw away the key. But the American Civil Liberties Union has made him a poster boy for prisoners' rights, charging that the DDU is cruel and unusual punishment.
Aren't these inmates in the DDU the worst of the worst? Aren't they the most hardened criminals in the system?
No, they're the sickest of the sick.
Harvard psychiatrist Stuart Grassian testified for the ACLU in a lawsuit it brought on behalf of 11 prisoners, including Charlie Chase. He says inmates typically sent to solitary confinement are irrational and impulsive, sick people who need to be treated, not calculating people who need to be punished.
I believe that Charlie Chase, at his worst, is a very mean, very out-of-control punk. But a lot of very mean, very out-of-control behavior isn't going to get better if we give vent to our own sadistic impulses.
And DDU is sadistic?
I believe so.
The whole point of the DDU is to have as little contact as possible with these violent inmates. Guards can see and hear them from this control tower. That ping echoing through the cell blocks indicates the listening device is on. Food is passed through small slits in the cell doors, which are opened and closed by remote control from the central tower.
Once the door shuts, this is the reality of life in the DDU. The cell is 10 feet long, 8 feet wide, and stripped down to the bare essentials. The walls are cinder block, the desk, the stool, the platform for the bed, all slabs of concrete. There is a 6-inch wide window here where if you look just right, you can see a small patch of sky. Now imagine spending 23 hours a day, every day, right here, all alone.
Commissioner Maloney makes no apologies for conditions in the DDU.
This isn't about rehabilitation, this isn't about education, this is about punishment, plain and simple, right?
Absolutely. They are being punished for negative behavior, that's right.
And when you say punished for negative behavior, you want to make it so unpleasant for them
that they don't want to come back.
But Dr. Gracian says the way the DDU changes the behavior of violent inmates is to make them even more violent. Gracian, who has studied the psychological effects of solitary confinement, says the constant isolation causes biochemical changes in the brain, making prisoners agitated, disoriented, and then delirious.
What are you saying, that solitary is driving them out of their minds?
There's absolutely no doubt about it. Solitary confinement drives a great number of people out of their minds.
Makes them crazy.
Makes them absolutely crazy, floridly insane.
We can get a glimpse into how Charlie sees his life in the DDU. It turns out he's an accomplished artist who draws during the long hours in his cell, using only his prison-issued ballpoint pens. To create the right shading, Charlie files down the tips on the cell floor. For canvases, he tears his bed sheets into precise rectangles. The images he creates are often violent.
I have drawn prints of people with their head cut off, bodies with knives going through them, hearts cut out.
Why do you do that, Charlie?
Because that's just another means of taking out my aggression.
Even in the face of overwhelming odds, he's still going to strike out against that authority.
Ron Hayes is an art psychotherapist who says what a person draws often expresses his subconscious. We showed him some of Charlie's pictures, including this one of a heroic prisoner fighting off menacing guards.
I see an individual struggling very hard to maintain control of the world that he's living in now.
Is that a real control, or is what he's putting into these pictures his fantasy world?
It's very much his fantasy world of wanting to be in control. Beyond that piece of artwork, he's not in control.
Part of Charlie's world is that over the years, he says he's heard voices.
What were they saying?
That I have to defend myself. Because when they come in to get you, when they have those sticks in their hands, they're going to kill you. They're going to break you, and they're going to kill you. You have to take them before they take you.
Dr. Gracian examined Charlie just once, 4 years ago, but says his mental problems were clear.
At times he's become psychotic, totally confused, hallucinating, not being able to tell what's going on inside of his head from what's out in reality, overtly, openly psychotic, openly crazy.
But Commissioner Maloney points out prison doctors don't feel Charlie needs special treatment.
I get the feeling that you don't think much of all this fuss about Charlie Chase, do you?
No, I don't. No, I don't. Here's a guy that's doing time for murder. And he's inside, and while he's inside, and no less than 4 or 5 times, he has managed to fabricate weapons within a maximum security prison and use them on people. You know? I missed the point.
And the courts agree. Ruling last June on the ACLU case, the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court said the DDU did not pose substantial risk of serious harm to inmates. But whoever you want to blame for Charlie Chase and others in the unit, the fact is most will eventually get out of prison. Charlie is eligible for parole in 2008. So the bottom line question is, does the DDU work? Is it the best way to handle people who will someday re-enter society?
Charlie's been in there since '93. It doesn't seem to have discouraged negative behavior yet.
That's right. That's right.
So does that mean the DDU isn't working, or what?
You know, he just needs more time in there.
Dr. Grassian acknowledges Charlie was violent long before he ever went to the DDU. Still, he says what these inmates need is help with their serious mental health problems, not just to be locked away. You got to know that there are some people out listening to this who are going to think there's a Harvard psychiatrist who just wants to coddle the criminals instead of putting the wood to them.
And I am also a father and a husband, and I want this community to be safe for us. They're going to get out, and we're going to send them out as violent and out of control as we can possibly make them.
But forget what the psychiatrist says, and also the commissioner. What kind of threat does Charlie Chase think he will be when he finally leaves the DDU?
Charlie, should we be afraid of you? Absolutely not. I'm trying to change for the better. I don't want problems. I want to get on with my life.
And what's going to happen the next time the guard provokes you, the inmate says something you don't like? What's going to happen? Can you promise that you're not going to do something else?
I have learned to not make promises I can't keep. I cannot promise that.
Maybe he's a slow learner. Maybe he has rages he'll never be able to control. But after almost 6 years in the DDU, Charlie Chase still can't promise he'll end his violent ways.
Since our report last aired, Charlie Chase has had 4 major disciplinary reports, including tampering with restraints and attempting to make a weapon. He remains in solitary confinement. We'll be right back.
This woman stole $250,000 in merchandise by shoplifting.
No security, no cameras, no sales clerks that could outsmart you. That's how I felt.
The incredible story of a master shoplifter who jeopardized her family for a career in crime when 2020 continues.
You are a skilled and gifted surgeon. He left behind the only family he's ever known.
Bye, Homer.
To find his own place.
I've never actually seen the ocean.
In a world he's never known. The Los Angeles Times calls it a superb film. Beautifully acted. Rates the New York Times 4 stars. And Rex Reed says it's definitely one of the year's best pictures.
I love you.
The Cider House Rules. Rated PG-13. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
If you could leave just a little bit over at every meal, it would really add up.
Imagine what you could avoid eating in a single month. If you're significantly overweight, 30 pounds or more, depending on height, the doctor has something that may help you eat less.
It's called Meridia, and it can help you lose weight and keep it off. You've got to do your part. You've got to do your part with diet and exercise, but Meridia can help.
Over 2 million prescriptions have been written for Meridia, but like any prescription drug, Meridia is not for everyone. It can substantially raise blood pressure, and it's not for people who are pregnant, nursing, under 16, or taking anything else for weight loss, depression, Parkinson's disease, migraines, or for people with anorexia, glaucoma, or serious heart problems. Side effects may include headache, constipation, insomnia, and dry mouth. It's a controlled substance, so patients who abuse Meridia may become dependent. For more information, ask your doctor or call 1-888-4-MERIDIA.
I'm ready.
Meridia, you do your part, we'll do ours.
Mentadent's new Surround toothbrush isn't for everyone, just people who think every tooth deserves special attention. Its outer base moves while its bristles wrap and surround teeth for a clean so complete you can feel it. New Mentadent Surround, meant to be different.
If you're gonna laugh, laugh. If you're gonna dig in, dig in. Warm, rich, rousing baked apple. One of the new sensations from Quaker Oatmeal. Just don't hold back.
Good things do come to those who wait. But don't wait any longer, because now is the best time to buy at Sears. For 3 days only, all home appliances, all home audio and video equipment, and all computers are on sale. Guaranteed. For example, save $111 on this Kenmore refrigerator. It doesn't get any better than the best time to buy at Sears. The good life at a great price, guaranteed.
Friday, ABC celebrates with the world. And what would New Year's Eve be without him?
This year's blast will be the biggest party ever.
Don't miss a minute Friday.
I'm ready to rumble. I'm gonna beat you like a dog. I'm your daddy today. I told you I was coming. You thought that it was over, didn't you? You thought you had a chance, but I'm here today. I told you I was coming.
Once in a century, along comes a man whose strength and courage raises him above all others.
I am the greatest.
This is how he got there.
This is my history today.
Terrence Howard and the Practices Steve Harris star in Muhammad Ali, King of the World, Monday, January 10th on ABC.
I'm gonna shake up the world.
And now the story of a stunning one-woman crime wave. Last fall, we introduced you to a suburban mother, the wife of a police officer. She was also a record-breaking shoplifter. She managed to steal everything and anything, including the kitchen sink. Sylvia Chase has the bizarre case of Beverly McGill and the brazen criminal behavior that damaged her children, destroyed her husband's career, and made her the most notorious shoplifter ever jailed in her state.
Utah State Prison, inmate number 28722.
I would walk into the store, walk around the store to see where all the employees would be, where the security was. Then I did my thing.
They don't call her the mother of all shoplifters for nothing. What Beverly McGill stole filled the entire warehouse of the Ogden Police Department.
You can't believe how much stuff we got here. It was mind-boggling.
There's probably 300-400 candles, Barbie dolls.
Garage door opener. I was awestruck.
Mike, here's 63 pair of kids' shoes.
It's a heavy old thing.
Everywhere you looked, there was piles and piles of property. And it was stacked 2 and 3 feet tall. We didn't know where to start.
It was so big. It was just huge.
Massive.
So big, it took 3 truckloads to haul the stolen goods out of the home of Utah's top shoplifter.
Bev McGill's probably one of the best shoplifters there is. She knew what she was doing. She knew she was good.
Was there any store you couldn't shoplift from? No. If someone said, ha, I bet you can't crack sacks. Then I knew that they were a liar, because I knew I could. No security, no cameras, no sales clerks that could outsmart you. That's how I felt.
Ogden City Police.
Until they were tipped off by an informant, the Ogden police had no idea that a kind of shoplifting genius was operating right under their noses. But one officer might have told them. For 10 years, that cop has been the common-law husband of Beverly McGill.
You take an oath to uphold the law, and someone right under your very roof with you is breaking it, you know, someone that you care for very dearly. You know, what do you do?
Cesar Hood didn't steal anything himself, but he says he couldn't make his wife quit stealing, and he couldn't bring himself to turn her in either. They fought. He packed up and moved out a couple of times, afraid what might happen. He was about to be promoted when one night in May 1998, his home turned into a crime scene, and his wife was arrested.
I didn't know what to think. I was numb. Your house is being unloaded by people that you've known and worked with for years, you know. Very, very humiliating.
I think that's when it really hit me, Beverly. You know, you were out of control.
Shelves under the bed.
The scene in the videotape is overwhelming. Yes, it is. It was like you were living in a warehouse of merchandise. Did some of this stuff even look familiar to you? No.
Where's the other one that you got from Harps?
And then you helped the officers, didn't you? Yes, I did. Why? Because I wanted it to be over.
Her long journey in crime begins and ends here in McGill's hometown, Ogden, Utah. She started stealing when she was 8 years old and never stopped. Her thieving escalated until she was at it daily, working the 35 miles of malls from Ogden to Salt Lake City. Sometimes she specialized in high-end name brands like Ralph Lauren and Calvin Klein. But her tastes ran the gamut.
There was 248 pairs of shoes, 102 scented candles, 14 boxes of ceramic tile, 5 bridesmaids' dresses, and 1 big kitchen sink.
From the ridiculous to the sublime. At Hart's Tucks and Gowns, where the retail space is no bigger than a walk-in closet, Beverly McGill marched bouffant bridal dresses right past manager Donna Church.
You really think you have all your bases covered by watching the customers in and out of the shop, and that's obviously not the case with someone as good as Beverly.
I'll go look for that.
I can't believe we're finally getting these back. It's amazing.
Local merchants reclaimed their pilfered goods a year after McGill's arrest. Angrily, yes. But there was just a whiff of admiration, too.
Well, looks like she had good taste.
Larry Peterman used to believe his $10,000 security system made movie buffs the Fort Knox of video stores. Each tape is encoded with an electronic sensor that's supposed to set off an alarm.
Strip the security.
I knew how to get around that. Please tell this guy. He wants to know, how did you do this? Electrical tape. You could put over the sensors. Essentially, it would defuse the alarm. Exactly.
She was good.
And the surveillance cameras, how do you avoid those? Every store has its blind spot where the camera would be missing me. Put it into my purse and walk out.
Peterman recovered 237 tapes, a fraction of the estimated $250,000 in stolen merchandise that police found in McGill's home.
Did you ever feel guilty? All the time. All the time? Every day that I would go out there and do that, I was jeopardizing my freedom and my family.
And perhaps no one had more to lose than Beverly McGill's own children when she turned her unprecedented crime spree into a family affair, as we'll see in a moment.
A master thief using her own daughters as decoys. A shoplifter so skilled, she turned it into a big-time business.
People came to her with their orders. The color, the size, everything that she needed to know, and she'd go back and get it.
Sylvia Chase with a family divided by crime when 2020 continues.
AT&T WorldNet service. Just click and go.
To capture your New Year's kiss. Save up to $12 now on select Polaroid cameras and film. Save now before December 31st.
My doctor said occasional personal dryness is natural. She recommended KY. I chose new KY Silk E. Nothing feels more natural.
New KY Silk E with vitamin E from the #1 doctor-recommended brand.
Watching you, babe, makes me so hungry inside. You got all those cheesy noodles. Oh, how can I make them mine? I can't get enough of those blues, babe.
Kids dig the one in the blue box because it's the cheesiest. Kraft cheese and macaroni.
I got the blues.
In 6th grade, about 1 in 13 kids have tried pot. In 7th, about 1 in 5. Be sure your kids know you don't want them to use drugs.
This Friday, starting at 4:50 a.m. Eastern Time, for 24 continuous hours, ABC brings you the single most ambitious live television event in history.
On the last day of the century, come celebrate with the world.
Watching every minute, every midnight as they arrive, all day. Continuous Y2K report. The world's greatest performers, ABC 2000. This Friday, starting at 4:50 a.m. Eastern Time.
The young daughters of a shoplifting queen talk about their mother and going along on her stealing sprees.
Did you realize that your mother was breaking the law?
And later, is this what you sound like to your kids?
Sarah Ann! Get in here! Now!
We'll show you how to stop yelling at the people you love most when 2020 continues after this from our ABC stations.
ABC is the place to be for all the tradition and pageantry of college football on New Year's Day. At 1 Eastern, Florida takes on Michigan.
Perk up your mornings with AM Northwest.
Have any of you dated the other?
In 8th grade, just after with a little fling, nothing big.
In 8th grade? Really?
Yes, Mr. Boswell.
Yes.
See what's brewing weekdays at 9 on AM Northwest.
I'd be right with you.
Dr. Treatsburg, line 1.
Winter blues got you down? Nothing lifts the spirit like Mazda's year-end clearance.
Whoa.
Right now, you can get up to $1,500 cash back or 0% APR financing on a new Mazda. Mazda's year-end clearance, it's just what you needed. Most effective therapy.
Dear Albertsons, is it true that I can actually save more money with you?
Yes. Just look for our bonus buy signs. Bonus buys are great savings presents. Our gift to you. These savings are in addition to our everyday low prices. No games, no gimmicks, just serious savings for everyone on thousands of items. So, for simple savings, shop Albertsons and be sure to look for your bonus buy savings right on your receipt. Albertsons, it's your savings store.
Get the latest local forecast every hour on the hour, 24 hours a day on Channel 2.
Experience Weather on the Hour only on Channel 2. The Channel 2 News Clark County Bureau inside the Columbian newsroom.
What could have driven Beverly McGill to steal $250,000 worth of goods right out from under the noses of merchants and the gaze of security cameras? McGill ripped off stores of all kinds, but as Sylvia Chase found, the heaviest losses may have been suffered by her own children.
And devious.
Before her daughters were old enough to know right from wrong, Beverly McGill turned them into accomplices. Tasia and Lachey were decoys, distracting unsuspecting sales clerks, while Mom made her move.
Did you realize that your mother was breaking the law?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell me about that.
We'd ask her, and, we'd just ask her why she didn't. She'd say, she doesn't know.
We've got him.
Police surveillance tape shot just days before her arrest show Beverly McGill and her daughters out on a stealing binge.
Sometimes she took you with her, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
What was your role when you were out with her?
Just to go with.
I'm going to stop, Lachey. Yeah, let's stop.
Detectives tailing McGill caught the family on tape as they raced out of Hart's Tucks and Gowns with a wedding dress stuffed in a baby stroller.
They come out after scoring this dress, and they do their victory dance right there on the side of the vehicle. And these are her own kids that are learning from their mother.
I don't feel good about that at all. I mean, that's what I have the most difficult time with right now.
Are you afraid that you may have taught them to steal? These are your children, your daughters.
Yes, they are. That has crossed my mind.
Why would a mother do such a thing? Well, Beverly McGill now says she couldn't help it. It was a compulsion, kleptomania, the irresistible urge to steal.
I would go to sleep with it on my mind. It would be the first thought on my mind when I woke up.
You're describing something that sounds like drug addiction. Always looking for the next fix.
I was, definitely.
It is my opinion that stealing for Beverly is a mental illness. It is not a character defect or a defect in her morality.
Psychiatrist Susan McElroy is one of the country's leading experts on kleptomania. At our request, Dr. McElroy evaluated Beverly McGill last May. Her diagnosis? Beverly McGill has one of the worst cases of kleptomania she's ever seen. And without therapy and medication to control her mood swings, the stealing may never stop.
It seems like the more I try to stop, the more it increases.
Stealing is her addiction. She gets a high when she steals, just like somebody with alcoholism would get a high when they become intoxicated with alcohol.
And if stealing is her addiction, Beverly McGill overdosed here at Rainbow Gardens, a shoplifter's paradise. Over 6 months, McGill cleaned out half the Seraphim angels on display, collectibles that Jenny Francel sold for up to $175 a piece.
What I would really love to do is go down to the state prison myself, sit down with Bev McGill, take one of these beautiful Seraphim angels and say, "Look familiar, Bev? What on earth was going through your mind when you stole 30 of these angels?"
I'm getting everything that I want, and ain't nobody stopping me. I mean, that's a rush. And when is the rush finally gone? The minute I leave the store.
Can I say bull? That's exactly what it is.
Shoplifting was like her drug. She got high off it. You don't buy that?
No, I don't buy it at all.
Prosecutor Gary Heward, in his opinion, Beverly McGill is a thief and nothing more, and a good thief at that, who turned shoplifting into a thriving business.
She'd found a way to live a lifestyle that was great. She set her own hours. She had cash. She had the ability to get and do the kinds of things that she wanted to do without holding down a job.
At McGill's home, stolen merchandise was sold at half price to some 300 customers.
She was a personal shopper for a whole lot of people in Ogden. People came to her with their orders. I want this item from this store, this size, this color. And she would get it.
You know, the old saying, it looks like a duck, smells like a duck, it's a duck. She's a thief, period.
Folks out there are going to be saying right now, Sylvia, Chase, don't be conned. This woman is a criminal.
I mean, this is an addiction also, on top of a criminal act.
And when she was caught red-handed, her husband, the cop, was arrested too. The police had undeniable evidence that Cesar Hood had allowed it to go on.
Here, your husband is a policeman, and you are a shoplifter. Big time.
Yes.
What have you done to him?
I've destroyed him.
After pleading guilty last November to theft by concealment, Cesar Hood served 6 months in jail. His 14-year police career was over. Friends on the force still feel betrayed and consider him just as guilty as Beverly McGill.
He knew where it was coming from.
He knew where it was coming from.
He knew that Beverly was going out there. He was just doing the blind ear to it. That's all.
The worst blow was yet to come. The children became the central issue when McGill was sentenced last March. Citing the girls' involvement, the prosecutor asked for an unprecedented prison term, up to 15 years, for shoplifting. In granting that request, the judge said Beverly McGill had caused irreparable harm to her children.
If she served the maximum, would you be satisfied?
Yeah, I'd be satisfied.
That's 15 years.
Correct.
That's a long time.
It is. She deserves to be in prison.
Last May, Beverly McGill had her first contact visit with her daughters. It had been 8 months since she had been allowed to hold them.
This woman has destroyed your family. She has ruined your career. How can you love her?
How can I not? You know, I know a side of her that nobody else has seen. You know, I knew there was a lot of good to salvage in this lady.
Do you believe that still? That
I do very much so.
If there is good to salvage in Beverly McGill, The Utah State prison system may not be much help. It offers no special rehabilitation for compulsive shoplifters. So a strong dose of hard time is all the medicine McGill is likely to get. And even she fears that without treatment, someday she'll be wandering the aisles again, struggling against that urge to steal.
Beverly McGill's attorney believes that she'll probably serve less than that maximum 15-year sentence and says her first parole hearing has been scheduled for January 27th. Meantime, local retailers say there's at least one upside to their losses. They've made major improvements in store security, thanks to Beverly McGill.
Next, the sounds of home. We've all done it, lost it with our kids, but can all that anger harm them? Bill Ritter with a wake-up for parents and some ways to tame the beast inside when 2020 continues.
If you're gonna laugh, laugh. If you're gonna dig in, dig in. Warm, rich, rousing baked apple. One of the new sensations from Quaker Oatmeal. Just don't hold back.
For years, people have won millions from Publishers Clearinghouse by mailing in entries. But now there's another way to win. Introducing PCH.com, where one click could win you $21 million Super Bowl Sunday. Enter by mail or online. But whatever you do, enter.
Nobody in America sells more office products to more businesses than Office Depot.
You can shop our store. Or you can shop our catalog.
You can shop online.
Taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime.
Office Depot. Taking care of business.
Ring in the millennium with seafood platters from Red Lobster. Shrimp, crab, or both. They'll make any party something to savor.
Did the holidays do a number on your diet? Now is the time to get back on track during Sears' Best Time to Buy.
You'll get 0% financing on all treadmills till January 2001 when you use your Sears card. Hurry, time is running out.
We worry about them running around barefoot.
Not eating their vegetables.
Never wearing a sweater.
But too much cold medicine. It never occurred to us.
Till Tyler's last cold.
We were giving him medicine for a fever he didn't even have.
Now we use Triaminic.
All medicines can have side effects, but with Triaminic, we choose the formula that's right for his symptoms.
So there's no chance of side effects from unnecessary medicine.
Triaminic lets you choose the right relief without the worry. Now there's Soft Chews tablets that dissolve magically in an instant. Easy to give, easy to take Soft Chews.
ABC News 2020, now in its 21st year. Winner of over 350 prestigious awards for excellence in broadcast journalism.
What's wrong, Mrs. Jenkins? Come on, you can tell me.
Well, there's no funding for the new reading program, and I've tried everything. It's just not fair.
Where can adults go for ideas when they feel as frustrated as kids? ConnectForKids.org. Guidance for grown-ups.
Get ready to show off your skin. Introducing Spotlight, the skin tone perfector from Estee Lauder. It turns up the radiance instantly and tones down the look of discolorations. We call it visual skincare. You'll call it amazing. Spotlight Skin Tone Perfector, only from Estee Lauder. Now, deluxe samples of advanced night repair and your choice of Resilience Lift Cream or Lotion free with your purchase of Spotlight. Premiering now at Meyer and Frank.
Oh, boy. Bad cold. You need the new cold medicine from Contact. Take it from me. Just one little Contact helps stop your sneezing, dry your runny nose, and clear your congestion.
New Contact is different. It's the only long-lasting cold capsule made with Contact's prescription technology. Its new dosing system delivers powerful medicine in the right dose at the right time for continuous cold symptom relief.
It lasts all day or all night. Oh, you'll be back on your feet in no time. New Contact. Cold relief that lasts.
it home sweet home, but sometimes it's anything but. Yelling parents, crying children, general chaos. Everyone knows those moments of meltdown, but we may not realize just how out of control we sometimes are, or what effect we can have on children. Last spring, some families allowed 2020 to put cameras in their homes, and we thought what those tapes revealed deserved a second look. As Bill Ritter asks, do you see yourself?
Pike! How many times have I told you, you eat your oatmeal, then you can have other food? I've had enough of this.
For parents, it's a familiar refrain. You've asked for the umpteenth time, and still the kids won't listen. And so your frustration level builds.
Yeah, I am angry. I'm sick and tired of saying, eat your oatmeal, eat your oatmeal, eat your oatmeal.
Sometimes unkind words spill out.
I'm telling you, you're in a foul, evil mood, and you need to eat to fix it.
Finally, you explode.
You can love your kids, I mean, so much, and then think, okay, we're just going to have a good day, and 2 seconds later, someone will do or say something, and that's out the door.
For many of us, like Lauren Munzer of St. Louis, yelling is just talking loudly.
Get off the couch and get in here and eat.
We don't really think about what it's doing to our kids, but there's growing evidence that all this high decibel, high drama has high impact on our children. Psychologist Matt McKay studies and writes about what happens to children exposed to constant parental anger.
Even just the voice itself, the annoyance in the voice, conveys that there's something very wrong with this child. And the more times the child hears that, the child begins to experience him herself as a bad person.
Of course, most of us don't think about that when we bark at our kids. If we really believe that what we say at any given moment might somehow scar our son or daughter, we probably wouldn't say it. And with that in mind, we asked 3 families who admit they get angry a lot but would like not to let us put a camera in their homes for a couple of weeks, and then let Dr. McKay analyze their behavior.
You want macaroni and cheese, Jonah?
Lauren and Sam Munzer have 3 children, all under the age of 6. Not surprisingly, there is a lot of stress in the Munzer household. Lauren says she loses it with the kids every day.
That is enough! If I say it one more time, you're going to go to your room and you will not carve the pumpkin.
If I just got them immediately after Lauren's had them for a while, they don't hear me, for a while.
It's like they have to adjust their hearing. Oh, wait, no one's yelling.
What are you doing out of your room? I said you were in there for the rest of the night.
Lauren says yelling is the only way she thinks she can get her kids to listen.
Sarah Ann, get in here! Now!
But because Lauren gets angry about so many things, the kids have trouble differentiating between small infractions.
Did you use that stamp pad and stamp all over the back of the door?
And big ones.
Did you hear him slam on his brakes?
On this day, 5-year-old Aaron rode his bike into the street without looking. Now, deep down, Lauren is relieved he wasn't hurt, but all Aaron hears is his mom's anger.
You have to remember, if you want to be responsible and have a bicycle, then you have got to remember to look both ways.
They are actually training her to get angry.
McKay says Lauren has fallen into a common parental trap, yelling too much and too often. So she's become like the parent who cries wolf. And all 3 Munzer children have learned how to tune their mother out. Watch 2-year-old Jonah just keep coloring as his mother loses it.
They have reinforced her, in effect, to get angry every time she has a problem or concern.
McKay's advice to Lauren is to keep a journal of what the kids do to provoke her anger and then figure out beforehand how she's going to react to it. One practical suggestion is to separate the kids at the table. Don't have them sit next to each other within striking distance.
When I do raise my voice or scream at them, I wonder why I'm doing it. After I've done it, I think, gosh, that probably could have been handled without so much yelling and screaming if I would have just thought before I spoke.
Please don't knock them on the floor.
Thinking before speaking is also an issue for Dorothy and Mark Novolo. They have 2 children, 5-year-old Sam and 2-year-old Ruby.
I'm not by nature, or didn't think I was until I had children, an angry person. And I've discovered deep wells of anger that, you know, I didn't even know about.
Although Ruby can be a handful, it's usually